Hey everyone, it's Kathy Zilski for Simon Says Stamp, and today I am excited to reveal the STAMPtember collaboration from This Calls for Confetti. This fun stamp set is called Unbelievably Bigfoot. And for this girl who grew up in the Pacific Northwest where Bigfoot was literally part of my formative years, I was so excited to play with it, so let's get into the products. Here is the Unbelievably Bigfoot stamp set. We've got Bigfoot, some pine trees, the Bigfoot word, live a legendary life, to a real legend, I see you, so glad I found you, have an unbelievable birthday, happy birthday, and then some prints and a little stars here and there, and don't stop believing. One thing I do have today that I'm also going to use is this fun Bigfoot stencil add-on footprint, and I've got some earthy color inks here that remind me of my Seattle upbringing. I'm gonna have some fun, so let's get set up first to ink blend. I'm gonna use the Simon Says Stamp matte. This sticky matte has lines on it, grid lines, which is kind of neat, and they're actually etched in. But what I'm going to use this for today is blending my foot, or rather Bigfoot's foot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down a little bit on this panel, and this is just a USA 2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Press to seal to hold that in place, and I am going to mask the top area off with some Post-it notes. I'm going to work with a few inks to create this really nice Pacific Northwest toned blended Bigfoot. I'm going to blend some nice cool earthy tones with Aspen and Sage for my greens over the foot, and overlap a little here when I bring in the sage, just creating this, well, woodsy sort of feel that reminds me of Seattle. I'm going to bring in the dew and the mist at the bottom to deepen it up, and that is my blended Bigfoot. I love it. All right, we take this off and lift the stencil to reveal our beautifully blended Bigfoot. Now I'm going to add some trees to this foot. It sounds a little crazy, but what I want to do is I want to create some trees behind Bigfoot. So that is the plan, and I think what we'll do is we'll start with, what is it? It's lighter when it's further away. Isn't that right? And it's darker when it's close. So maybe we'll do, again, I just think this is kind of a fun, cheeky way to play with a foot and trees. Let's see, so yeah, and okay, so I'm going to do these first trees in the lighter Aspen, because I think that's going to, I was going to use flannel and I had pulled that out, but I think I'm going to do more of a tone on tone with the Aspen. And I can see once I get this down how it looks. Okay, just to give us, oh wait, I meant to do darker. I think this will be fine. We'll see. Okay, because it's going to be hard to make it lighter in the foreground with what I have planned. Okay, so we're transferring, but I think I will stamp this twice. All right. And these are coming right off the edge of the panel as well. Like that. Okay. And that kind of gives me that ghosty look that I like. Oh, no, that is right. Lighter in the distance. It's really hard for me to remember these things. See, I think that's the thing, like artists and painters who understand, although all you have to do is look at a photo of a big field and horizon and you'll see like, oh yeah, there you go. So here, even though my Bigfoot's going to cover some things up, I'm going to do this one, let's see here, in the sage, and that will seem closer, I think. Sage. Come on now, get it nice and even, and press. Now Bigfoot is going to be in front of these things, so it's not going to be that critical, but you can see how that seems to be a little closer. There we go. Like that. Okay. Oh yeah, I like it. Okay, and I might add, I'm thinking, I might add one more tree, but I kind of want it to be lower still, and I'm not sure if I have enough room with the mini MISTI, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna get a bigger MISTI. I need more room. When people ask me, get a mini or get a big one, you know, oftentimes I do tell them you can do more with a big MISTI. And that is true, right? If you want to use it, but I use my mini a lot when I'm filming. But here, I want this to be lower like that. And I'm going to do this again in the sage. Come down, press, come down, and press. We're making a forest for Bigfoot. All right. And I think I'm going to do one more skinny tree because I want to show you how he's going to be in here. So you're not going to see necessarily all the stuff in the middle. But here, I can come down. And this one, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do one pass of the sage, not two. And that way we'll get a little different dimension to it, or depth, if you will. See how that looks. I could do two. But I kind of like that because it kind of gives that different sort of see-throughness. All right, now I'm going to just wait for all of these inks to perfectly dry before I stamp Bigfoot. We've got our little guy, and here's what I'm thinking, because I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to finish out this card, but I kind of want to have his silhouette right here in the center, and then I could do, oh, so glad I found you. That could be really cute. All right, let's see. Are we at the 1 inch? I'm going to pick this up. Just going to run my hands over to prime this stamp a little. And I'm going to stamp this in pigment ink, which is going to be really inky. I'm going to have to let it dry a bit. I have this Obsidian pigment ink from Altenew, and I am going to bleed his feet off a little. Bleed meaning they're just going to extend past the border of the card. So we'll get this stamp nicely inked, and I just got ink on my thumb because that's what happens with super inky ink. Okay, bring it down and press. I'm gonna bring my little pressure tool in here. Just really work it in. He's gonna look so cute. I may be dating myself when I say this, but there was a movie when I was a kid called Bigfoot and the Mysterious Monsters. Okay, that's past one. We're going to do two. And it covered Bigfoot as the star and the Loch Ness Monster, and I think the Abominable Snowman. Anyway, I was obsessed with these things as a kid, and by obsessed I mean I stayed awake nights worrying that Bigfoot would be in the woods behind my house. But you know, now I have an affinity for it because it makes me miss the land of my birth. So again, we're really inking that up. Oh, look at how dark it is. That looks so good. Now, again, it's going to have to dry because pigment takes some time, but that looks fantastic. Let's figure out the placement of the greeting. I'm going to place that greeting just right there in the center, and I'm just going to hold this up and see if that is on the line. Yeah, it's pretty good. Actually, I think I'm going to test it just by popping this down right here, sticking it to my mat, and I'm going to take an ink that's easy to clean up, which is just a little quick cube here, and check the placement. Oh yeah, that's going to be great. All right, make sure that's dry before I ink it up again, and we're going to put "So Glad I Found You," I love it so much, right in the center. Again, this foot stencil really makes this set come alive when you can add that in. And the nice thing about stencils is they're very affordable and you can do a lot with them. All right, So glad I found you. Oh my gosh, is that just the cutest? All right, now we have to turn it into a card. I trimmed this to be 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. And I think I'm just going to put a little bit of black spatter. And I'm just going to use my dye ink for this so that it dries quickly. Add a little water here. And just a few. Because, you know, it's Bigfoot in the woods and, you know, probably somewhat messy out there. Just like that. I don't even think, well, maybe a little more up here. There we go. Just sort of at an angle. And that just adds a little something something. And now we'll pop this onto a note card. To finish out the card, I used a pre-scored Simon Says Stamp A2 card base and popped this up onto the panel. And then for the inside, I added a stamp of the big feet and left a little white panel to write a nice message to my recipient. You can find links to all of the products I used today on the Simon Says Stamp blog. And remember, this is an exclusive collaboration with This Calls for Confetti. And when this stamp set is gone, it's gone for good.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at SimonsSaysStamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.